Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR, so let's just dive in and let's start off with the overall price chart. So as you guys do see here, I have two ranges, and the first range is where we have been trailing in for a while since we broke down back in the end of February, and we started to kind of trail here in the beginning of March. Currently right now, Bitcoin is on a little bit of a tear. We will most likely see a lot of attention kind of pulled away from altcoins for a little bit of time to focus more on Bitcoin. But in that time, I do believe that we will kind of just range sideways here on HBAR until we get the major move to the upside or possibly even break down, which I will show you guys both scenarios. But one thing that I have been noting on Hedera is the support zone that we are basically on. I mentioned back here in the summer of 2022 that we were ranging here. We had a nice retest of the 10 weekly EMA, and we kind of just rode it for a while until we actually ended up breaking out of it back in January. Now, this breakdown here, this was all FTX induced, so this was like peak bearishness in my opinion. So this, in my opinion, will most likely be our low on HBAR. If we do go lower, I will be surprised, and the reason why is because this was also the support zone that we were holding on to back in June of 2020. Like, this is major support, and this is actually us back testing resistance from 2020 as well and flipping it into support. So I personally would love to see this level hold if we ever do get to retest it. But also there's a lot of levels for us to have to break in order for us to retest those zones down there anyways. Which I don't think is likely. I don't think that we are going to retest those. I would love to be wrong just for a buying opportunity, but in my opinion, I'm actually buying this range now. And the reason why is because, very similar to what we've seen back here, I believe that we are seeing over here, except the difference is that during this time back here, we trailed sideways, and then got that major breakdown. This was the peak bearish event. Now we are trailing sideways in between this range, very similar to what we did see back here, except guess what? We have a lot of individuals believing that we are about to see a major bull run, or if you will, a wave 5 impulse in the market. Now, if we do see something like that, I believe that we will do the inverted move that we've seen back here over here, meaning we will most likely retest 9.5 cents, 10 cents, and break out. What's interesting enough, though, is that most people believe that this level here will not hold and we will see lower lows, meaning that we will see 3 cents, 2 cents. Like, I've seen some crazy calls, but in my opinion, this was a level of major buy opportunity because of the support zone that we were holding on to going all the way back to 2020. So as we look at HBAR, I believe that right now, as we do see major community events building, we see DeFi building, we see major opportunities around the ecosystem as well coming out. Like, for example, there's a lot of updates to the Blade wallet and other major community involved tolling around NFTs, around DeFi, etc. Like, there's been so much activity, including, of course, ecosystem activity around TPS. So in my opinion, you know, we have a lot of substance now. And the level that I've been looking at up here is pretty much this range around 18 cents. Me personally, I believe that if you did not buy during this time here, or if you did not accumulate during the summer of 2022, and if you don't accumulate this range, then most individuals will be buying at 10 plus cents. And I don't say that to sound like I know everything. I just believe that most people will FOMO in on green candles, very similar to what we've seen back here, where most people were saying, like, I didn't buy the dip, I should have bought the dip, I should have did this, I should have did that. Usually what we see is, one, currently support building. We had been pretty much building on this level for about 28 days. And with this, you know, this entire range here has been 42 days of us just kind of trailing sideways. Now, is there anything more bearish for HBAR currently? I mean, we had the token unlock. We had the network go down because of there was a breach within the security, not on Hedera, but on an actual dApp utilizing Hedera. I mean, like, there was so much bearishness during this time here that, you know, what else could we actually experience for a sell-off? I just don't believe that we are going to see a massive sell-off unless, for example, if Bitcoin crashes and plummets, then yeah, maybe that could induce this down. But, you know, the question is, how low do we go? Do we hold the higher low that we have over here versus the low that we've seen during December? it's questionable, right? So we have to wait and see if there is going to be a bearish event. And the major level that I would personally be watching for if we do lose it would be, I would argue like 5.5 cents maybe. Because once we do lose that, then yeah, it's questionable on like if we are going to retest possibly anywhere between 4.5 cents down to about like 3.5 cents. But again, like I said, I don't believe that's going to be the scenario. I actually think that we break to the upside here. If we do reject off of major resistance here, we'll probably range between this level and then have that next move to the upside. But I do believe that double-digit figures are in target. I do believe that 10 cents plus is going to be next on HBAR. We could possibly see anywhere between, you know, this 14 cent zone, almost 14 cents to about like 18 plus cents. And if we do break above this level, then it's questionable on what happens next, because it's either one, we are going to target local resistance at about 25 cents, or possibly break above that, back test major support, and then continue higher to possibly retest a new all-time high, or even just the recent all-time high. But nonetheless, we will talk about that once we actually have enough price data. Right now, currently, I'm just watching this price range. I will be buying this price range. I have been buying this price range. So now I'm just waiting for a big move on the price chart, because we have just been trailing beneath the EMAs, waiting for a big break above them. I believe that at least 8.5 cents, aka the 50 weekly EMA, is going to be next, which is the local resistance. It's the resistance that we hit during February's run. So I'm watching this price chart very closely right now, and I believe everyone else should be as well, because we are seeing major milestones being hit even from the community dApps like Saucer Swap, for an example. They just hit $150 million worth of volume with nearly 1 million unique transactions. We do see Hedera DeFi's expansion is truly unstoppable. Yeah, it is. I mean, like, honestly, everything that we have been watching, like, sure, TVL is down, right? We haven't really bounced back since the February high of about $161 million, but I believe that this is going to impulse to the upside yet again, very similar to what we've seen during the run-up from December 31st all the way to pretty much February. Once this does impulse, I believe that the price is also going to impulse at around the same time. But we've been watching DeFi, we've been watching the NFT volume. For an example, if you guys have not been looking at the NFT volume, I highly suggest you guys do, because here we have all of the chains, right? And what's crazy is Zeus Market is sitting at number 17. I know that this might not seem like a lot, but we have $500,000 worth of volume in the 30-day span. That is actually pretty big, considering the fact that we have more volume than Rarible, Decentraland, and there's many other ones as well. Like if you go to like page 2, you can see some of the other ones like Pancake Swap. There's a few other ones like the Sandbox as well. Like, we are absolutely killing it. Like, Hedera's killing the NFT game right now, whether you like it or not. And I do believe that we are getting to the point where we will be within the top 15 at some point in time this year. I think that NFTs on Hedera are going to continue to grow rapidly. We are very close to the top 15 right now. I would personally love to see $1 million worth of volume achieved in the NFT market for Hedera. It's really questionable on when that's going to happen. I do apologize if you guys do hear my phone, by the way. But if we go look at the recent events, for example, around New York or NFT New York City, we do see from Christian Hasker, thank you to all the Hedera NFT communities. Vid credit goes to BM Gentile. I mean, like, look at what's happening right now. Like, this is Hedera marketing at its finest. Like, when we go back to, we seen it in 2022 as well. That was initially when a lot of individuals were jumping on the HBAR NFT train, because that's when a lot of marketing actually happened for Hedera. Very similar to what we are seeing now. For example, I'll take you guys real quick back to NFT NYC 2022. Here was the video from that time, and this is what we seen there. Marketing was kicking it up for Hedera, which was one of the biggest things that we were missing out on with Hedera, because remember, that was one of the biggest downsides of the Hedera team, was there was basically no marketability. Once we started to see marketability, we started to see some pretty nice gains. Going all the way back to the summer, so we ended up dropping. During this entire time, the ecosystem was growing and growing and growing. Now, at the end or at the beginning of August, that's when most of the bearishness started to go against us, basically around the market. But also during this time, we were hitting some peak resistance. So I wasn't expecting us to break out or anything like that during the summer of 2022. But now is a little bit different, because most of the market is actually looking pretty good now. Most of what we were going to see in terms of like the bearish news around Hedera is out there. The token unlocks are basically cleared until 2024. I know that recently we've seen, I think it was like 100 million or 200 million HBAR released. But I think that was like the last of the 2 billion or 3 billion token unlock. So now as we do look at what's going to happen this year going forward on in time, we still have a lot more left to uncover. The HBAR Foundation has been announcing a few things around AAA games launching or even coming over to Hedera. They actually are migrating from Solana to Hedera, very similar to like what we've seen with Ethereum. A lot of Ethereum-based games and a lot of Ethereum-based projects were actually moving over to Hedera during all of 2022 and even during 2021. So if you go over to their website, you can see that the beta is coming in 2023, and there is quite a bit of artwork as well that you can see from the game. Looks very solid in my opinion. I think that this is some of the best artwork that we've seen around the Web3 ecosystem within gaming. They already do have some quite large sponsorships already, and also even partnerships, which is very solid. Now, also, if you actually go over here to their roadmap, this is their 2023 roadmap. So currently they are in seed and private sales currently. There's going to be an airdrop, a DApp launch, game phase 1 demo, marketplace launch, NFT sales, public sales, game phase 2, tokenomics, season and battle pass, guild scholarship, esports, and also league system, which is pretty cool. I think that this is great to say the least. And also, if you guys do want to read more about the team behind this project, you can. So here we have Mindiff is a studio with a creative team of professionals who have been creating and managing video games for more than 25 years. And you can see some of the games that they worked on. You can also see some of the companies that they have been tied to. This is pretty solid to me. I personally think that this is going to be very large if they are successful in what they are trying to do. But there's so many of the so many games like this building out on Hedera already. If you actually look at the ecosystem behind Hedera around games, like here are some of the best ones out there so far. If you actually look at Galaxy is not so much a game. A few of these are not so much a game itself, but more so the ecosystem around it and building out gaming ecosystems. But Meta Wizards, for example, is an NFT game or an NFT project, but also a game that came over here from Ethereum actually to not only utilize the power and the potential of Hedera, but also to embrace the efficiencies that Hedera has to offer compared to what Ethereum has to offer. And now we are seeing a Solana-based game come over to Hedera as well to embrace the power and the potential of Hedera. And this is going to be a trend, in my opinion, that continues to build and grow and become a reality because, again, I've talked about it many times on this channel. When you look at the efficiencies that Hedera boasts compared to Solana and Ethereum, it is night and day. Again, a lot of people want to FUD on the fact that, all right, the tokenomics. We hear about that constantly with a lot of projects. Casper is another one, right? But when you look at the technology behind some of these projects and these networks, and then you actually look at the names coming over to these networks from other major networks that I'm talking about, like, top 5 networks, you could truly see the realization here. It's not just, made up shilling of a project. No, this is a reality. And it's been a trend happening since going all the way back to 2020 as well on Hedera. I've talked about it. There's been a ton of Ethereum-based projects that said, we just cannot scale on Ethereum. So we need something that has scalability. Hedera is that. And Hedera is becoming that. That's why I say that there's going to be so much growth within Hedera in this year going forward on as well that I don't think a lot of people are prepared to see. And, if you have been a follower of Hedera for a while, you already are preparing for it. And we already see them marketing NFTs. We already see them marketing the community engagement around Hedera NFTs as well, which I think is incredible to see. This is going to continue to be a thing. And when we look at the price, I said it time and time again already on this channel. Wait for the price to catch up to the ecosystem. Wait for the price to catch up to the developments happening on the ecosystem as well. Like, this is not short-term price engagement. I don't care about what the price is tomorrow. I don't care about what the price is next week. I care about what the price is, next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. And again, that's just the long-term investor in me. But also in the short term, I do believe that we will see some incredible gains. I think that we could see possibly a new all-time high within the next 2 years. But also, I think as we look at Hedera, long term, I believe that this is going to be a leader around the DeFi, the NFT, and the gaming sector because it already is happening. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.